The Malochim returned, saying to Yaakov, Bo Elochicho El Esov. Would have been enough to say Bo Elochicho or Bo Bono El Esov. What's Elochicho El Esov? It was originally Yaakov had said to Ochi Esov. See, they said, as Rashi says, Gam holech lik roscho v'arbe meusishimo. Rashi, Bo Elochich Leisov, Shoyisa Omer Ochihu. Avlo noig imcho kesav arosha. He's not behaving as a brother, but what is the behavior? As Esav arosha odenu bisinoso. His hate is the same. There's a question in the Medrash when it says 400 men. Is the 400 just individuals, or 400 means these are like commanders of legions of soldiers to come against Yaakov? So we're talking about it could be tens of thousands of people are here. I know. Well, the Rishonim explain it. See, Forno says something interesting. I mean, you have to read what he says. He says, not only is he not your brother, he's not happy for you. He's coming to wage war against you. As we say, when Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to go with Klal, they sent letters, a message to. It also says Vayishlach Malochim. He sent them agents. We'd like to pass through your territory. So it says, we have a bracha from our grandfather, Al Charbcha Tichya, you're not coming through. That's what they said to Moshe. And it says, and they came against them with the sword, not to let them through their territory. So he says, as over here he's coming with Dal Medusish, that's similar to V'yetzi Edom l'krosu b'am kovid. Edom came against Klal Yisrael b'am kovid. With the Ramban at the beginning of the parsha, that all this, what it discusses here is Masa Obus Bonim, how we have to deal with Edom throughout the ages. It's very good with the Seforno. What's happening, the whole struggle between Yaakov and Esav here, this is forecasting the future. The first event is Vayetzi Edom l'krosu b'am kovid. That corresponds that he's coming with Abba Meisish. He's coming with 400 men against you. Okay? Vayira Yaakov Ma'od. Yaakov was very afraid. Vayetzalo, and he was pained. So over here, we'll see Rashi, the Orach Chaim says something very interesting. When it says he was afraid, it says he was very afraid. When it says he was pained, it doesn't say he was very pained. Right? Vayira Yaakov Ma'od, Vayetzer, doesn't have Yetzalo Ma'od. We'll see. Vayiro Vayetzer, Vayiro Shemi Horig. He was afraid he may be killed. To be killed, that's Ma'od. That means there's no Klal Yisrael. Means that's why he was very afraid. Vayetzlo im Yaharog Esecherim. But he was pained if you have to kill others. You have to kill, but he's pained. But to what degree is he pained? He's not pained to the same degree that he's afraid if he's killed. Being killed is a lot worse than being pained for killing. Okay? Because one is only a diminishment in himself. The other is, if he's killed, he doesn't exist any longer. You following? No. He is already. He is here. There's already. He already has all his children. They're all born already. He's the Ab already. He's all. 11 of them are born. Rochel is pregnant already with Binyamin. So good. The kid. They're all here. Right. Everything's already in motion. So here as a mashpia, but they need him to oversee them, to influence them. He has to raise them. So raise them. He'll be at a slightly lesser level. Originally, when he fathered them, he had to be at a more advanced level. No. No question. He is. He's damaged. He becomes damaged goods. No. I'm not saying no. If you're damaged before you, wait a second. You're not listening. You know. before he fathers the children, if he has damaged DNA, that damage carries over to his children. When he fathered them, he was perfect. He perfected himself. Now, it was speaking as a mashpia. Living the role as a av to develop them and to guide them. It's a different level. Initially, it's much more important, because initially you bring them in as damage. Here, it's just a question of I'm not going to be able to help you to fulfill your potential. So that's less mode than being killed. Killed means you're not here at all to be mashpia. But if he's killed, he can't fulfill any function at any level. Here, so it'll be at a deficient level, but it's better than no level if he's killed. So to be killed is mode. He was very afraid. If he kills, he's only pained, but he's not very pained. It's not at the same level. That's the point.
Rabbi, at this point, didn't Hashem say, I will protect you? Doesn't he say from the beginning, we have to go back 30 years?
Oh, we're talking about 30 years. No, but we said, Shemi Yigrom HaChet. He's worried that guarantee is no longer in place, because maybe he's soiled with sin. Right? That's his worry over here. No, he's worried. Yaakov was worried. He also, the Ramban speaks about that. Even eventually, we made the pact. It's not only a siege on Yerushalayim. We made a pact with the Romans 186 years before the Churban Bayesheni, with the Romans. Okay, so you take a look in the Ramban. The Ramban says so, and that was the beginning of the end. Vayachatz ha'om asherito. He divided the people that were with him. V'satzon v'sabokav ha'gmal l'shnei machnos. So, right, we already mentioned the camels. Until now, there was no mention of camels. Right? As I mentioned yesterday, Meir Simcha. Right? When he sent the message, he says, Hoyli shor v'chamor. So, Meir Simcha says, we see later by the gift, there were camels. He should have said, I had shor v'chamor v'gumalim. Right? Weren't Gumalim, weren't the camels mentioned. Right? Remember what he said? Meir Simcha. Oh, right, okay. So he says, initially, it had nothing to do with his possessions. He said that just as you could discern the discernment between an ox and a donkey, one is kosher, one is a non-kosher species. A camel is not so clear because it chews its cud. He was saying about himself, I haven't been soiled as much as an iota. Just as you're able to discern clearly between A and B, that's exactly who I am. Even though I spent all these years by Lavan, I haven't been diminished. That's why he doesn't mention camels, because he's not there to share with him to what degree he succeeded, materially speaking. Now we're talking about the camp. What was contained within the camp? He divided the tzon, boker, the sheep, the cattle, and the camels, the shnei machnos. No. No, there were camels. There were camels. She rode on camels. There it's speaking of the transportation. Because if you take a look, when they left the house of Besuel, he says they rode on camels. Look, he doesn't speak about it. You come up with something, we'll listen. You know, people used to say they walk a mile for a camel. Okay, what does that mean? Does that also mean this? Okay, has nothing to do with it. Yeah, okay. Vayomer, im yovo Esav elamachna achas fikol. If Esav should come to one camp and smite it, the remaining camp will be the flater. Will be, how does he explain flater? Refuge. So we'll do the second Rashi here. He'll have no choice. Why? Because I will fight with him. interesting. What do you mean have no choice? Because but maybe he was originally worried he may be killed, right? So what do you mean you'll fight with him? Hiskeratz shloshet dvorim ledoren letfilu mechoma v'tavra machne hamincha alponov letfila lekei avi Avrom lemilchoma v'yamachne shel lefleito. He says he'll have no choice. What do you mean have no choice? Meaning, so you have to say, even if he'll be killed, the other people will be able to escape. No, they'll be able to. He'll fight with him to such a point, even ultimately he may be mortally wounded, he won't kill him immediately. What it does say? All his family was in one camp. That they didn't divide it. All means the people, the servants, the slaves, that his family was with him. Because you see later when they came to approach him.
So he would obviously be in the front camp.
No. It does not be in the front. He does not be in the front camp. It does not be in the front. No. He first camped at the slaves. Then he would come with the family. If he sees he has to fight, he'd fight. There's no question. Maybe the gift is sufficient. You see, there was no fighting. Because he sent the gift, so on and so forth. And when he saw that, it says, we'll see later, he bowed, right? He bowed 7 times. Okay, let's see Chelek. I understand that, but at this point, he didn't have the encounter with the angel. At this point, he doesn't know what the angel is going to attack him. Right? This is pre-angel. Right? Good point. We don't even see he was worried. Wasn't a thought in his mind. No problem. Shem says, go back. No, because here, because Lavan, what's his name? No. Esav is his counterforce. Lavan is not the counterforce of Yaakov. The purpose there is to go establish a family. Hashem says, leave, I go. What's me with Lavan? Hashem will take care of Lavan, as he did. I mean, if Lavan wouldn't have shared with him, that came to him in the dream to say, just don't go near him, he wouldn't have known about it. Right? Wouldn't have known anything. Okay, so you see, because he had no worry. That was his level of Yochon. But over here, it's a question, Yigrum Achet. Here, I'm vulnerable to him. Unless I have, right? He is vulnerable if he's not perfect. Right? If he's not perfect, said he was worried. So shor v'chamor. No, that just as the two species are discernible without a question, one's kosher, one's not kosher, it's the same with me. There's no element of impurity within me. It's not I am kosher and I have impurity also. I have a kosher sign, but I have impurity like the camel. I'm partially. Okay.